Welcome back to Tales and Treasures. I am your host, Mr. Almeida. Last time I declared Midtown Madness 3 as the best car game of all time. Now, I thought it'd be fun to take a look at some other car games that I have in my collection and see how they fare in comparison and rank them. Now, these rankings will be totally arbitrary and solely based on my subjective opinions. Opinions that nobody asked for. Now, let's start going through the 9 games I picked for this little exercise. Why 9 and not 10 games, you might ask? Well, it's because I can't be bothered to do even the bare minimum. First up is Forza Motorsport 5. Now, this is a really beautiful looking game. The graphics and sounds are absolutely astonishing. So realistic. I'm at awe how beautiful games can look today. However, this is a simulator game, and I guess this is supposed to be a very realistic representation of racing cars. But is this how cars behave? I mean, you tell me, I don't have a driver's license. On easier mode, the car actually brakes by itself, and when I pump up the difficulty, the cars spin out of control like crazy and won't turn in corners, and I just keep crashing into walls like a drunken madman. Like I've said before, good graphics don't necessarily make a good game. This is just not fun. At all. Burnout 3 Takedown. Now, this is a really fun game with a lot of different racing modes. The controls work really well and they respond like I actually think they should. And colliding into other cars feel nice and smooth, but obviously not too smooth. This is just awesome, mindless racing and destroying the other cars and going really fast. This is really great and addictive game, and it's a lot of fun to play with friends or just by yourself. Okay, this is pretty hard to top. Dangerous Driving and Danger Zone 2. This is from the team behind Burnout games, and they now have a new studio called Three Fields Entertainment. They don't have the rights to Burnout anymore, but this is basically one, just under a different name. When I first started this game, I was immediately hooked. Fast cars, crashing, flying in the air, amazing maneuverability, challenging tracks and tasks to perform at high velocity. All that and pretty good graphics too. I truly enjoyed playing this game, and I like that the devs have actively taken feedback from players to improve the game. There could have been a bit more variety to the game modes, and Danger Zone could have been made available in the same menu as the main game. Now I have to completely switch from game to game. I'm not sure why they made it like that. But I'm just happy this game exists in the first place. They rarely seem to make fun racing games like this anymore. Outrun 2006 Coast to Coast is apparently a reimagined version of the original game, but with new engine and graphics. It's still very simplistic and feels a little outdated on the original Xbox. It feels and looks more like a good Sega Dreamcast game. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Not at all. It certainly has a very recognizable nostalgic look and feel to it. Maybe that's one of the reasons why this game costs today almost $150. The car handles well enough, even though it's a little clunky, especially when crashing. It has some fun modes, like when you are trying to impress your girlfriend who gives you different tasks to do on the road. But unfortunately, there's just no pleasing her. Project Gotham Racing 2? Oh my god, is this a Batman racing game? Okay, okay. That's Bruce Wayne's Ferrari, obviously, yes. This isn't a Batman racing game, is it? This is just irredeemable. The controls are crap. The graphics are crap. It doesn't have Batman or Batmobile. The cake is a lie. The cake is a lie. I am surprised though that a game this old and shitty had ghost drivers available from online. I wonder how well that could have worked back then. I am sorely disappointed. But at least things can't get much worse after this. Need for Speed Most Wanted. I'll probably be stoned to death for saying this, but this is a game that I just don't understand. The controls are clunky and there's so much customization stuff. I know nothing about cars and all the customization takes all the fun out of it for me. Is Need for Speed the game that started that trend? There's so much emphasis on trying to get better parts for your car, and you need to know how it affects the weight distribution and speed and acceleration. Modern games like Forza and Wreckfest are full of this. And of course, I might be in the minority given how many copies these games sell. And I get it that the target audience are people who like cars and know about them and what makes them tick. For me, it's just extra grinding I understand nothing about. I like it when I earn new cars and they are automatically just better than the previous. And the only work I have to do on the game is to just race and do fun objectives. But I'll probably revisit this game on its own on a later episode to get more perspective on it. Because I remember playing this on my friend's PS2 and there was some cool parts of the racing, like all the fun shortcuts you can take and such. But I don't really remember too much about it and I can't show you that right now because I couldn't even win the tutorial race. Yeah, let's put that down as one of the hilarious shortcomings of Mr. Almeida. Horizon Chase Turbo. This game is pretty simple but fun. It has plenty of tracks, fun colorful visuals and a cool soundtrack. Horizon Chase Turbo is really at home on Nintendo Switch. I really like how it seems like an old Sega Mega Drive era game but with modern control mechanics, and it uses 2 thumbsticks for driving, which is pretty cool. And it feels totally natural. I really like it. This is truly a great love letter to old racing games. I had so much fun playing this, I almost couldn't stop because it's so addictive. Inertial Drift is an interesting drifting game. Like Horizon Chase Turbo, it utilizes both thumbsticks for driving, and it works really well. Although I myself suck so badly at this, I keep forgetting which way to turn. This game certainly has a learning curve. Pun intended. The comic book visual style looks great with all the neon coloring. Seems appropriate for a drifting game somehow. But the characters on the story mode though, they are pretty bland and forgettable. Even though there was some surprising diversity to them, which I liked. Also, the voiceless dialogue is absolutely dreadful and so slow. Thankfully, you can just skip all that if you wish and go straight to drifting. I wasn't quite hooked on this game, but I can see the appeal for sure, and I will most definitely keep playing it. Hopefully, I'll eventually learn which way to turn in the corners. So, this is where the dust settles for these games. From absolute worst to the absolute best, in my humble, unsolicited opinion. It was a close match for the 10th place, but ultimately I decided that Project Gotham Racing 2 was so bad, and not to mention such a huge disappointment, that it deserves the last place. Whereas Wreckfest probably is an alright game if you happen to like that sort of physics-based racing game. I put this at 9th place. After that comes Forza Motorsport 5, Need for Speed Most Wanted, Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast, Inertial Drift, Horizon Chase Turbo. Now, choosing 3rd and 2nd place was also a very hard decision. I went with Dangerous Driving for 3rd place, because as much as I love this game, it is a modern game and it performs pretty much as I could expect it to. Doesn't really go above and beyond as much as it could. Still, an amazing fun game. And 2nd place I gave to Burnout 3 Takedown. It's such an amazing game, and it really is a good example how good a game really could be on the original Xbox. It is such an awesome game, and it still holds up very well. Games that are made this well really give contrast when compared to the other games available at the time. Burnout 3 Takedown is just bounds and leaps beyond most other racing games. You can try it yourself. Try playing this and then pop in Project Gotham Racing 2 and you'll really see the difference. It's just mind-blowing. And yeah, the 1st place still goes to Midtown Madness 3, the greatest car game of all time. Now before you leave, let's talk about all the buttons you can push. There's the like button, the subscribe button, and the bell button. You can just go ahead and push those if you were so kind. Also, there are these boxes you can click. Have you seen my previous videos? Here's your chance. Just click on the boxes.